We're joined today by Andrew Langelaar. We interviewed you in the summer about you becoming Manitoba's Strongest Man. That was a great time for you, an opportunity for you to win something pretty darn cool. But you've gone on now, you've won the Nationals, and you're Manitoba's newest professional strongman. How does that feel for you?
It's pretty awesome. So at Manitoba's Strongest Man, I actually beat the other two professional strongmen in the province. That's a pro-am level show. So going into nationals, there was the inkling that it could happen. The podium gets the professional strongman invites to the Circuit Home 4, which is run by JF Caron. Um, but the winner also gets their Strongman Corps Canada, which is the growing federation in Canada. They get the pro card for the Strongman Corporation as well. So to go and to win that and now to join the ranks of the professionals it's a big deal.
When you started all of this, did you ever expect yourself to make it to this level?
It's been a goal since day one. People in my family tend to do things not halfway. So it was always kind of the goal was if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go professional. I didn't realize that would happen within 7 months of my first competition, which is not entirely accurate. I mean, I've been my powerlifting background, my base for strongman was the size of some people's careers. So I can't say it was entirely, oh, I'm this rookie guy. But to change sports and go pro in 7 months is it's affirming to the fact that I've made the right decision moving forward with it.
Apparently, though, in your household and your family, this is something that you are born with. You and your brother are both pro sport athletes. Where is this coming from? Did you guys get into sports very young as children?
So honestly, we genetically we're not sure. My mom's not athletic. My dad's not very athletic. They'll openly admit that. Everyone in my family goes, we don't know where this came from. But at the same time, we were enrolled in gymnastics at a young age until we were told that I was too tall to continue. We were in swing lessons from a young age. My brother, wanted to play hockey. My mom went, no, you can try the speed skating thing. It's cheaper. That didn't turn well for her in the long run. Probably ended up being much more expensive than him being a mediocre hockey player. So we played a multitude of sports, which I think is most important. I mean, I think that there's a lot of research now coming around that most high level athletes didn't specialize super early. So I think just building that base of general physical proprioception and literacy is huge. Um, can I say that that's for sure why we've been successful in our endeavors? Maybe, maybe not, but I definitely don't think it's hurt us.
With this latest win, what does this mean for you now moving forward?
The easiest way of kind of explaining this to people is you have, let's say with hockey, you have the OHL, the AHL, and the NHL. The amateur level of strongman is this tier, and then Manitoba's Strongest Man is kind of right in the middle of the two because you have pro and am. So for me this year, I've done nationals was my eighth competition, and I have one more. So I've competed way more frequently than any strength athlete wants to, and anyone who's watching this who knows understands. My body's beat up, everything hurts, but basically that was because I was doing amateur level shows and then I got invited to professional level shows, so such as Western Canada Strongest Man, Manitoba Strongest Man, and then the Magnus Gimli on short notice due to an injury pullout. But next year at least I can just do these shows and not do these ones. So it's going to be a massive break for my body where I could actually focus on improving and getting better instead of just constantly competing. So that's the biggest thing is just having access to bigger, higher level shows and not having to beat myself up on the local circuit. So that's probably the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is just decreasing my competition frequency.
That makes sense. Going back to the nationals, for those who know nothing about the strongman, but kind of want to know what you did to have to win that, can you just share a little bit about that?
Yeah, easiest way I always explain people is strongman as a sport is basically just world's strongest man scaled to weight classes categories. So you have typically 5 to 8 events in a competition. This is a 1 day event. So we had it's what's referred to as an arm over arm pull, an ascending max overhead press with a log implement, a car deadlift, which is a lever deadlift, and then the car sits on it. So you are lifting the back end of the car off, and then how far it sits in the lever is the weight. Um, a sandbag carry medley, which again, just exactly like it sounds. You have a series of large sandbags, you have to move them. And then the Atlas stones, which are just large concrete spheres that you cover yourself in tree sap and lift. So um, depending on the events, you'll have different things. So for this one, the arm over arm, again, there's no weight because it's all perceptions. So say, hey, heavy log started at 300 pounds. Deadlift was 725 pounds in the hand. Your sandbags were 250, 300, and 300. And then the Atlas stones were 300 pounds up to 415 pounds. So pretty heavy day. Definitely, definitely feeling that even 2 weeks later now. But anyone who wants to get involved, I definitely recommend it. I mean, I know there are novice shows in the works for early spring, and we obviously scale that down just so people can come and try it out. But it's if you're a fan of circuit training or boot camps or anything like that, it might be for you. Honestly, it's a really really fun sport, really really welcoming community. So I think more people should give it a try.
And hey, if you want to go show off and be like, hey, you see that giant thing over there? I'm just going to go pick that up and lift it over my head. Like, why not become a strongman? I started deadlifts for the
Exactly.
first time in the gym. And that was like 2 weeks ago. And it's nowhere obviously near what you're doing. And I can feel that. So lifting logs at cars. Yeah, what makes you really want to continue to do this and to do this to your body?
There's a time limit on it. I'll be honest. Like I've always said, when I turn 40, I'll lose 100 pounds and buy a bike. That's always been this what I and I'll be very clear. Like what I do and what other professional strongmen do is not for health. We are chasing a very specific performance-driven outcome. I weigh 330 pounds right now. My blood pressure is good. My sleep markers are good. Everything is by the textbook. It's healthy. But the reality is, I'm carrying around a 330-pound frame and beating my joints up. So it's not at this level, it's not healthy. If you want to get involved at a local level, at a small level, just incorporating your training, it's a very health promoting thing. It's strength training, it's movement. But for me, I just have always been fascinated with the pursuit of strength. I think
Mm.
there's a note from when I was in kindergarten where it's like, oh, what do you want to do? And it's just like, I like being strong. And I drew a little muscle man on some construction paper. And I still have the picture somewhere. It's my mom kept it for years. So it's always been something that I'm fascinated by. I can't really describe it. It's just it's what I feel like is my potential, my calling to do is just to get as strong as I possibly can and see what I can push my body to. Right. I'm gonna mangle who it was, but I think it was Plato or Socrates who said it's a shame for a man to grow old without knowing what his frame was, what his
Mm.
body was capable of. I really do feel that where it's like, okay, what can I do? I want to find that limit, and hopefully I can remain healthy doing so. Hopefully I don't break my body or my joints, but that's also a trade-off that I've calculated and accepted. And also keeping in mind that maybe in 20 years, modern medicine will be able to rebuild us. Who knows, right? So like
Right. Yeah.
at the end of the day, I'm enjoying it for right now. Yeah, I'm aware there might be a long-term consequence to it, but I think that I've been healthy for 10 years doing this so far. And I don't think the change in the sport is going to adjust that. I train smart, I manage my injuries, I recover well. So I don't see any long-term detriments, but there is a risk to that, and I have accepted that.
And you're surrounded by a great community that's going to help you along the way.
Absolutely. That's if I were to do something that was really going to hurt me, I don't think I'd hear the end of it. So it's not like I don't have accountability systems in place.
Yeah, for sure. So what's next now for you? You've done the nationals. When's your next competition?
So kind of bittersweet. I was really looking forward to a long off season, but because I won nationals, I do get an invite to the Arnold Sports Festival amateur strongman competition. They define amateur by not the mountain from Game of Thrones, basically. That's the top tier. That's what they consider pro. Um, Very exciting, obviously. I mean, if I just catch a glimpse of Arnold across the expo hall, I can die a happy man. Just to breathe the same air as him. But that's going to be in at the end of February. I think it's February 27th to March 2nd is the expo. So kind of just taking a couple of weeks of easy training here, and then I'll have to roll into about a 16-week prep for that one. So
Wow. But that's exciting. I hope you get to
very,
meet him
yeah.
there. That'll be
I
awesome.
It's a long shot, but one can dream.
You never know. You never know. Thank you again so much for making time this morning. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me back. Appreciate that.